Okay, so we're just going to talk through some kind of new tips to launch your business, some guides. If you want to take notes, that's fun. We're going to start kind of on Facebook training. There are so many different programs, but I know as new consultants, like there is like a lot of information coming at you. So we're going to start in one place and go from there. But we have book drives, we have school and library, we have fundraisers, we have all of these things that we can do. But let's pick one area and go there so that you don't feel like everything's like flying at you. Okay, so we're going to cover several things. And so if any point tonight you feel like, this is the 3-step that we're focusing on. So really, this is where we're going to start for these first like week or two. Getting friends to your parties, having fun at your launch party, and then asking for bookings. So even if you haven't had your launch party, we can start on all 3 of these tasks right now. So these are the 3 little steps I want you to walk away with tonight, that this is your entire job for this first like week or 2 weeks. So don't feel stressed if I'm like throwing all this stuff at you. Okay, so all of you except for Sharice, who just joined like a minute ago, are most likely in our new team member training group. This is a Facebook group that your sponsor or team leader added you to. This is really where you'll want to focus, especially on posts like 1 through 6. Some of the later posts, you don't have to worry about doing like right before your launch. So I don't want you to feel like all of this information, you have to have it memorized or perfect before you can have your launch party. So focus here. We do have several other Facebook groups. So we have our Thrive Product Knowledge. This is where I lived like my first couple of weeks. So let me back up and tell you a little bit of my story. I joined in June of 2016, so a year and a half ago. And it took me 8 months to decide to be a consultant. I just was super skeptical. I was not in like a good season, like I didn't really have a need. And then all of a sudden we decided to adopt a little boy. And we all of a sudden had a need. We had a big financial need. And so I kind of just dove right in and he was my why. And we had a big financial thing like resting upon us. And so I wanted to promote to leadership. I wanted to make money. I set like really high goals really fast because, you know, like when you have a big bill headed your way, like it was not an option to not have money. So that's a little bit of my story. I fell in love with the leadership aspect of it, with training, with mentoring, with the community of our team. But I knew nothing about like direct sales. I worked at Old Navy in high school. That is like my only sales experience. And I had 0 Usborne books. Like I was too cheap to buy any books at any, like I went to 2 parties before I joined, but I was too poor. So all that to say, I didn't know anything about our books. And so I lived on this Thrive Product Knowledge. It tells you everything about books. You can search, there's a little search bar up here. There's photos that you can click this tab and it has pictures inside the book. So it's a great resource. Or you can just search on your e-commerce site. So like if someone likes dinosaurs, you can just type in dinosaurs and it'll pop up all the books about dinosaurs. So you can really appear like a professional without knowing anything about the books. Our team page, I try and post once a day. Our leaders are really active. It's a super fun place to hang out, to get encouragement. If you have questions, if you want to like just brainstorm about maybe you want to have a book drive and you have no idea how to do it, or you want to ask for graphics. So feel free to use that. It's kind of like if you were a teacher and we had like a teacher's lounge. So it's kind of like our place to be. There are lots of things under photos. There's tons of albums. We have past training events. So if you're like curious about something, just kind of spend some time clicking around. There's also a search bar. You can search for like bookings or hosting or recruiting. There's all kinds of like keywords and hashtags, videos that you can search for. If you haven't been added to these, you will be soon. Okay, so the first part is setting up your party and getting your launch party started. I know a few of you have already had your launches, and so you might be getting ready for your first party with another host that's not you. We always want to make sure that these are private events. I didn't know that starting out. If you do a public one, everything that you post goes to your profile. And so then you're going to look like the spam queen, and nobody wants to be the spam queen. For now, don't allow the guests to invite their friends. Because we're really passionate about not inviting and mass inviting that way. That's something that just our company is really solid on. We want to respect people's privacy and we just want to ask permission first. And so a lot of times if you check that there's a little box, your friends might get really excited and they're like, oh, I'm going to help Tracy out. I'm going to invite all my friends. And then you have a party with like all these people who didn't want to be there. Inside our new team member training group, there are cover pictures that you can use. There's wording that you can use as you set all of this up. So it's all kind of there for you, so you don't really have to think too hard about it. Post My Party, if you have not signed up for it, I know some of our team members use Visly if you are under Melissa Shipman, and so she can give you some help and guidance on that. There is a trial, it's $1. If you're not familiar what Post My Party is, it's an automatic posting service, and so it does everything for you. You can plan things 3 weeks in advance, schedule it whenever you want it to go. You will learn that your parties look the same over and over again. So we'll have kind of a template and some graphics, and then you'll just recycle that stuff. So right now you're like, oh my goodness, like setting all this up, like you will get into this groove. I set up like 3 or 4 parties today with like no time at all, because they're all exactly the same, and I just like changed the host's name. So you will get into this great groove. So what feels like a lot right now, I promise in 2 weeks you'll be like, I got this. So don't stress about it. Okay, next up is inviting. So this is kind of your bread and butter this week. Again, no spam inviting. Nobody likes spammers. We want this message to sound like you. You are these people's book lady. You are these people's friends. There's lots of ways to do it. You can do a typed out message. You can do a video. I'll show you an example here in a second. You can send a little like selfie graphic. If you want, go ahead and send your wording to your sponsor or your team leader and just kind of help you like read through it and think through it, make sure it doesn't sound spammy. You don't want it to be long, because if you've ever gotten those messages that are like a full phone screen, I'm just like, like nope. So keep it on the shortest side and send it to everybody. So for my launch party, I sent about 400 messages. I think I had 43 people at my launch, which sounds like a lot, like 43 people RSVPs. That's amazing. That's 350 people who told me no. So just because you're getting a lot of no's, that doesn't mean that you're going to have a bad party. We want to send it to everybody. Some of my like best customers, girls who have joined our team, were people that I like went to high school with, that I don't talk to on a daily basis. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I should invite them. And I'm really glad that I did. Does anyone have any questions kind of as we've talked through this so far? I forget to ask for questions. Just hop on and shout it out if you do. So don't say no for people.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so back to your previous page when it was
This one?
Don't allow guests to invite friends. Now, what if they ask you, hey, can I invite somebody? So, like if they ask your permission, is that okay? Like, because I'm just asking because with my party, I was gonna say like, because my mom is like, oh, can I invite some friends? And I just told her that's fine. Just ask them first.
Yeah, you can't. You'll have to change that. And I always tell them, send a message first. When someone asks me that, if they ask first, my first thing is like, hey, why don't we just get you to have your own party? Like if they already have a couple of friends who want to come, like see if you can host it.
Right. Okay.
Instead of adding to your party. But if they're like, oh, I only have like one person, then yes.
Sometimes I have like people who want to invite their moms or grandmas, but if it's like someone who's like young, then I'm like definitely try to get them to host for sure.
Agreed. Okay. So don't say no for people, and then send a follow-up message. So this happens to me all the time. People send a message like I'm at Target. I'm like, oh, hey, Sharice messaged me. And then I like totally forget and it gets lost and buried. And so typically what I do when I'm hosting a party is a day or two later, I'll just send like a funny gift that's like, I like the one that's Joey from Friends. It's like, how you doing? And I'll be like, hey, just wanted to see if you saw this. Want to come to our fun party? Or something like that, just as a fun little reminder. I try and keep it really light. But a lot of times people are like, oh man, I wanted to. I just completely forgot. So it's okay to remind people. We're forgetful, mom brain type people. Okay, wording. This is huge. I did not know this as a new consultant. And I feel like it's like transformed how I communicate with our team members, with potential recruits, and with hostesses. Always end your messages with a question. So instead of just saying, I'd love to see you there, ask them like, would you like to attend? Can I send you an invite? Can I add you to the event? Something where they feel compelled to respond to you. Because that first way, I'd love to see you there, they have no reason to answer you. There's no reason for them to like respond back because you just ended it. And so like as you're asking people if they're like liking their books, you know, how are your books? Or can I help you? Do you have any more questions? Can I show you something? What's your favorite thing you've seen so far? So our goal is to create relationships with people. We do not want to be salesy. And by building relationships, you will not be pushy. You will be like a friend. So asking questions is key. Okay, if you have the ability to take a screenshot, this is a fantastic page to take a screenshot of. If anybody can't, just hop on and like tell me and I will take a screenshot and post it for you. Does anyone want me to do that? Yes, okay. I'll write that down. So these are some potential wording for your launch party or just for like potential like parties right after your launch party. So there's a question asked. You always want to use people's name. That typically keeps you out of Facebook jail, because if you send a ton of messages, like 800 at once, Facebook's going to block you. So using people's names helps with that. Again, keep them kind of short. Really make it sound like you. What I've been doing recently is having my fun little message and then sending like a fun picture of my kiddos or me or something like that. Because when people get their phone, it'll say, Summer sent you a picture. And so people are like, oh, I haven't talked to Summer in forever. Why is she sending me a picture? And so they'll like click on it and then they'll see your message. Another fun way is to do a little video. I'm going to mute whoever's that is to do a fun little video. This is just kind of another Gallerista, Erin, kind of I invented this method. I don't know, but it's been really fun for our girls. So I'm going to show you my, it looks like I'm having a seizure because it's really shaky. So don't shake your phone, but let's see if I can get it to play.
Hey girl, I am so excited to catch up with you and talk to you. I just wanted to let you know a big thing that just happened in our family's life this past week. I decided to become a book lady with Usborne Books and More. If you've never heard of this company, they're so fun. They make kids books for kids of all ages, 0 to young adult novels. I've read several of them. But I'm so excited about my business, and I'm going to throw a little online party this coming Thursday at 8:30. I would love to have you join us. I can help find books for everybody in your family and all the little kiddos that you know. Books make perfect Easter presents and spring break road trip material. So I would love to have you join us. I'm going to be giving away some free prizes and giving literacy tips. And just it's going to be super fun, all online and super quick. What do you think? Would you like to join us?
Okay, I just noticed there's something in my teeth in that video. Okay, so real life. Okay, so a couple of things I did in that video, it's really general. So I didn't say like your kids or your kid. I tried to say like kids in your life. So that way you can send it to people who have 1 kid or 2 kids. You could even make a couple of these, like one for like your coworkers, one for people maybe you haven't seen in a while. But one thing, if you do a video like this, you can forward it to everybody. And I'll post the how to forward thing, but it makes your inviting like go super fast. Like you can send a message and then you can just like go down your list and forward it to like 40 people at once. So it's an easy way to like be really personal and kind of be different, because we all get invited to parties online. I've never received a video. I don't know if you guys have, but it's just something a little bit different. And then you can follow up that next day like, hey, wanted to make sure you saw my like nerdy video. Are you coming? You know, something like that. Any questions about that? I know it's a little bit different. Okay, moving on. Okay, so these are some practical tips that I have just learned have made a big difference in my business. And I will post these graphic links on our page here in a second. But getting organized will help you not feel like all of your stuff is all over. Because I know we have things on our team page. We have a Google Drive. There's really about 4 things that I use over and over and over again. And other than that, like I have those resources, but I don't always like they're there if I need them. So one thing that I do is I type out the times of my party. And so like up here on the green square, I have like things that I say that I message my hostess so that I know my post is going up at 8:05. It's just kind of to keep me on track. This will take you about 3 minutes. Look at your post my party, write down those times. It just kind of helps you stay organized. The pink square and the blue, or the purplish blue, pink and the purple square, you don't have to do right now, but you can be thinking of them. So I have all of my hostess coaching, and I again will send you that link. This is for when you are not the hostess. So when you are working, let's say that Michelle is my hostess for next week, I have everything that I'm going to say to Michelle already planned out. So that way I know that I'm not missing anything. And I know that one day before I send this, 4 days before I send this. So I will get you that wording And so you can have a fun little way. And if you're like working with somebody, you're like, oh, I really like the way I said that, like save it. So put it in a Word document. If you have a Mac, I use stickies. It's like a little, like basically a digital sticky note. And then the purple little square over there is the Join My Team post. So when I got started, I was terrified of the Join My Team post that's like, ask me a question about being a book lady. I knew nothing. And so I called my sponsor and was like, I'm going to take that post out because I don't want to answer those questions. I don't know anything about anything, basically. And so she was like, I'll help you. And so I've developed this little like sheet here that has basically the most common answers. You will get asked about five of the same questions, just in different ways in all of your parties. And so it has some casual conversational answers to those that you can just copy and paste in a party, because our parties go pretty fast. And so if you have the answer already ready, you don't even have to think. You can just copy it and paste it right on over there. And then the below down here is your graphics. I have about 3 folders that I use. And when people say like, ooh, I love Shine-A-Lite books, I'll comment with, hey, here's the whole series of Shine-A-Lites. Or if they say like, I have a kiddo who likes dinosaurs, I will post a graphic that says, here's some dinosaur books. But just knowing where that is, all of this, like downloading your images takes about 5 minutes, and it will save you literally hours. So maybe like set up this week, like give yourself 15 minutes and just save these things on your computer. It will save you a lot of time. Does anyone have questions about that? No? Okay, next up, pre-party. So you've invited your people, they're coming, and then we want to make it fun. We want our parties to be enjoyable. I know we've been to several, maybe y'all haven't, but I've been to lots of direct sales parties, and I love that our team, like, I think we're kind of known for having fun and being like personal online. There's kind of a few things that we do in the pre-party. The most important is book recommendations. That is where people say, they tell you about their little readers. A lot of our things say like, post a picture of your readers and tell me what they're into or their ages. And this is where you'll use that Thrive group. Ask your sponsor if you have no idea. Like, I had no idea about our books. And so my sponsor was like, this girl likes animals and she's 4. Recommend All Better and tell her a little bit about it. Some cheats on this, if you're like, I don't know anything about the books. If you go to e-commerce and you click, let's just say you click All Better, you can click reviews under there, and it has like actual parents who've read the book. And so you can be like, people say that this book is, or, people love about this book, blah, blah, blah. And so it comes across really natural, even if you like don't own these books. It's what people are saying about these books. And so just like if you were going to have a party, like a dinner party, or have people over for a game night, you wouldn't invite everybody to your house and just like awkwardly sit there. And so this is like a digital gathering. And so, comment, try and engage people. If they say that, their kiddo likes dogs, ask them what kind of dog they have. If they comment about, they ate donuts today, like tell them you love donuts, and like just try and be people's friend. That is our goal, to be people's friends, to grow your social network by adding new friends. Every party, I try and add 2 new friends. I try and find something in common with 2 people. Whether that's like they say, they're going to be snacking on brownies tonight. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm a huge brownie fan. Can I add you as my friend and we can swap recipes? It's super easy. I've never had anyone be like, no, I don't want to be your friend. People are not like that rude. And so once they're your friend, they get to see your social media feed. They're in your network. You get to build a relationship with them. Okay, next up, any questions about this party engagement? Anything? Okay. So hostess coaching. This is your main job, is working with people with your parties. You are helping them have a great party. You want to be their friend and their book lady. You want to get to know them. I love finding out about my hostesses' kiddos, their jobs, just really building that relationship. And you really, 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 really want to emphasize that they don't mass invite. At some point in your book lady career, you will have someone not listen to you. They may even bold-faced lie to you, and they will mass invite. It doesn't mean the party is a waste. I've gotten recruits of a mass invited party. I've gotten sales. Sometimes it is a total bomb, but for every bomb, you'll have a good party. So I just want you to know, like, be prepared. You will have people who don't listen to you. Unfortunately, they're like our children who don't listen to us. Okay, so you want to aim for high numbers. I always like to aim for 30 people attending. Doesn't always happen. I would say my typical party hovers around 22. but I always aim for 30. I offer a free little extra book if they get 30. And then connection and excitement. My goal is to get this hostess like amped and pumped. So I talk to them, you know, every day, every other day, and just like I comment and I encourage anything that I can. If they commented to their friends, I'm like, you're the best hostess. Thank you so much for like messaging and talking to people. You're so fun. I compliment their friends. Like, your friends are so engaged. I love how much reading matters to them. So I try and make it really specific and get them excited. I send them reminders, I send them follow-ups, and just kind of what to do. Again, this little graphic right here, this is my exact wording. I will share it with you. And this is exactly how I coach my hostesses. So you don't have to think through the process. One day you may want to change your wording and you may want to switch up your process. But right now, if you want to be handheld, here is all of your stuff. Okay, so after your party, my computer. After your party, and kind of throughout the whole process of your party, you have one main goal, and that is to be people's book lady. You want to be their book lady. When they think of reading, you want them to think of you. You want people. I woke up this morning to a message to a girl. She attended a party like years ago, like one of my very first parties, and she was like, "Hey, my kiddo has a birthday coming up. He's super into science. I know that you sell books. Can you recommend a science book?" And I was like, "Yes!" Like, I'm her person. So that's your job. You want to create these connections. It's customer service. Getting to know people. Uh-oh. I'm going to mute that person. And it's in following up. So a lot of times, my parties, I don't have massively high sales if my party is at 8 o'clock by like 8:40. It's a lot of times it's following up that next day. There's a little, whoever's asking to be muted, in the upper right-hand corner of your picture, there's a little button that says mute. I can't find who you are. Oh, here it is. I think I got it. Okay. So following up with people, I love to send messages if I'm the hostess, or to help my hostess send messages that next morning that says like, "Thank you so much for coming to our book party. Have you found all that you needed?" Or, "What's your favorite book that you found so far? Can I help you with anything?" And so just keeping it short, keeping it sweet, and being relational. Like, you don't always want to just be like, purchase books. And just message them personally. Like, send people a little personal message, not from the event page. My goal, I like to show my face in my party. I like people to see me, so that just creates further connection, that once they've identified me and my family, they're more likely to see me as their book lady. Okay. Any questions? We've covered a lot so far. I feel like I'm going kind of fast. Nothing? Y'all are all rock stars and you know everything? Okay. Next up is bookings. This is kind of the last part of getting started. And I want to start with the story of Kool-Aid. First off, I'm super highly allergic to Kool-Aid, so I should probably pick a different analogy, but I can't have red Kool-Aid. Anyway, okay, so Kool-Aid, if you take 3 scoops and drop it into a swimming pool, what is going to happen? You can unmute yourself. Anything? 3 scoops of Kool-Aid into a giant swimming pool? Is it going to be like a tasty treat? Nothing. It's going to be a not tasty treat. But if you take 3 scoops and put it in one of those super cute little pitchers of like the little fat man, it's going to be delicious punch that will make me throw up, but you enjoy it. And so the point of that is concentration. If you book a whole bunch of parties, but it's from now until July, that's not going to kickstart your business. If you book 8 parties pretty quickly within the next 3 weeks, your business is going to explode and you're going to start off really like a strong foundation. So that is always my goal, to get people 8 parties. Now this sounds really, really scary. And if you're like sitting here like, ugh, like, don't worry, your sponsor and your team leader, we have your back. And a lot of times you're like just recycling parties. And so it's not nearly as scary as the number 8 sounds. What I do is I have my girls do their launch party and then another party that week. So like if your launch party's on Sunday, I typically recommend like a Thursday party. The next week, maybe like a Monday and a Thursday. What I started doing very early, and I know lots of girls on our team, is do a double booking. And what this is, it takes one night and you do like an 8 and an 8:30 party, or an 8. Rachel, are you laughing at me? I see you cracking up. You do like an 8 and then a 9 o'clock party, or a 7 and an 8 party, kind of whatever timing you feel comfortable with. And it takes a little bit of time getting used to. When my very first time I did it, I was like a sweaty mess and I was like so nervous, and I had like 2 computers and I was like freaking out. And now if I just have one party a night, I'm like, oh, this is so slow. Like, where's the excitement? But what it does is it takes less time, honestly, because you coach all of your hostesses at the same time. So I send hostess A a message and hostess B a message. I set up hostess A's party. I set up hostess B's party. I do book recommendations for hostess A, then I do them for hostess B. So I'm doing everything at the same time, so I don't have to remember, like, oh, what have I done? But it allows you to only work one night a week. And so I work on Tuesday nights. That's my party night, and I have 2 parties every Tuesday night. And so it really allows you to grow your business with not spending like a bunch more time away from your family, because I'm big on family time. This last little note says, don't rely on your launch party. You may or may not get bookings from your launch party. People may comment on that post and they're like, I totally want to host, but you may have to hustle for it. You may have to text some of your friends. I always advise, like, start right now. Like, I know some people just joined today. Call your besties and be like, hey, I'm so excited. I just joined this business. Like, will you be one of my people? And see if they'll host a party for you even before your launch. Like, you can have your launch next week and their party is like the very next day. That is how you are going to get all of those super fun rewards. Okay, possible wording. This is where I feel like a lot of us get stuck. I'm like, what do I say when I want to get a booking? If you want to screenshot this, I will also share this one as well. Let me write that down for me to do. But it's a fun way to like take the pressure off of yourself. Like, I've been challenged to get 8 parties. Or you can say, I've been challenged to give away a certain amount of books, like $2,000 in books. That's 8 parties. So kind of think through your wording, and then again, ask a question at the end. Would you be willing to host? Would you want to be one of my 8? Something like that. And then always suggest dates. So when they're like, sure, I'll host a party for you, don't say, okay, let me know what date is good for you. Because that date may not work for you. And this is your business. You are the CEO of your business. And so I always suggest a couple of dates to people. Like, would next Tuesday or next Sunday work for you? And I try and get them within like 2 weeks, like really quickly, 1 or 2 weeks, especially if you're in your incentive period, you want them quick. So easy way. And I do the same thing for time. So if they're like, I'll take it. The 12th works for me. And then I'll say, okay, great. Does 8:30 work for you? And 99% of the time people are like, sure. And then they usually just like make it work. I think I've had like 5 hostesses in almost 2 years be like, ooh, neither of those dates work for me. So it's a pretty easy way to nail down something quickly. Any questions about wording or bookings or any of that? Okay, so there's a lot more in the training group. You will see things on our Facebook page, fun ideas, training videos. Don't worry about that. Just like tune it out. You have your 3 tasks of messaging people, being fun at your party, and working on some bookings. That's where you focus. So there's like videos on all of this cool things. Don't worry about it. Just don't even watch it. Closing out a party, don't worry about it. Prizes, we'll announce them later. Mailing your prizes, we'll close them out later. So don't worry about all of this stuff. Like, that's like the bottom portion of like the training group in your checklist. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to make videos. I want to do a website. Like, don't worry about it now. We could get to that. Your sponsor and team leader can help in all those areas, but just focus on those 3 things, and that will really like take some of that pressure off. Okay, I'm going to stop screen sharing and we can do a little like Q&A, and we will see what I think some people were doing in the chat here. Okay, I'm going to stop recording, and so we can do kind of a live chat here. So recorded people who are watching this, everybody wave. Bye, recorded people. See you later if I can figure out how to stop recording. Okay, bye.